Hey guys, Nicole here, and I am ready to revisit my Project Use Your Stash series. And sorry, I've taken kind of a break from that for a little while, but I have all these kits laying around that I want to work with. So I decided to grab the biggest one. I believe it's number 12. So I will have these all in a playlist, and then you can go back and look at the initial kit and then what I make from it. But this kit was ginormous, and I actually find another bag here pretty soon because I was trying to figure out, they kind of got mixed up in the process. And so maybe I'll come to find out this was two kits, but I'm pretty sure this is just one ginormous kit that I made of all just these brighter, cute pinks and aquas and greens and yellows. So it's a really cute collection of supplies, but it's a big collection. So what I decided to do was I have been watching Nicole Jones 911 lately, and she does these page kits from her stash. And so she goes through and puts papers together for individual pages and then adds embellishments to it. And I don't know if I don't know, I'm going to struggle doing it this way, but I know for sure that it's going to be hard for me, but I'm ready to try something different. And so because I like to work with smaller groups of supplies for sure, but I still like to have options. Not that I'm not going to be able to still grab what I want if I really, really want it, but I've never gotten as specific as to make individual kits for individual pages. And so I think this will be a fun challenge for me. So instead of doing it with all my stash, I just decided to pick one of my Project Use Your Stash collections that I've already put together and doing this process with just these supplies. But it's a really big kit, so it's still a lot. And so I'm just sitting here because I think I'm watching YouTube to make sure I have the right bags together. Because to the eye, they look like it looks like it all matches, but I'm making sure I'm not missing something. Anyway, and then I'm trying to figure out how do I want to approach this. And so I think I'll probably do it a little bit differently than Nicole Jones does. I know I'm going to pick papers first. And I will, probably, I might do a couple different waves. So I think she does her papers first, and then she does, and then she goes back and does embellishments. And I think I might have to do it in 3 waves. And just FYI, the Simple Stories pack gets taken out. It's too bright, and I decided that it should go into my summer collection. Anyway, and I have way too many papers. So anyway, I think I'm going to do the papers first, then I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to do larger pieces, layering pieces, and 6x6 paper pads. I have 7 or 8 paper pads in this kit. Go through them and add little 6x6 pieces to each individual page kit. And some of these page kits I may get 1 or 2 pages out of. I'm not going to limit myself. And then I'll go through a third time and maybe pull individual stickers, individual embellishments, those types of things. So that's how I'm foreseeing me doing this. And so we'll see how that happens. So this video is just going to be papers, and my goal is that I just want to I think I have 4 paper pads here. Is that right? Yeah, 4 paper pads and some loose papers, random papers I put in there. And I really just want to get all these empty. That's my goal. And I may get tired of these page kits and end up destashing them back into my stash, and that's totally fine. But I decided that I just want to get all these pieces put into kits. And at the end, I do end up with maybe 10 pieces of paper that I just put to the side and say, okay, I'm done. I can't really make any more good combos. And I'll just keep these to the side to pull from if I need them. So as I'm making these layouts, I have a couple extra papers to the side to choose from. Now, 2 of the paper pads, the Amy Tan one is more white based and worked better with the Color Buck one. And then the Maggie Holmes and the other crepe paper one worked better together because it's a little bit more of the distressed look. But I was able to combine a few in, throughout that worked. I know the color block one had some kind of more distressed papers in it too, and so I ended up finding a good mix. And so I'm just trying to gather kind of my thoughts here on how I want to approach this. So anyway, this will be a fun kind of new thing for me to try, and I just love watching Nicole do this, and I know she does it live a lot of the time, and I'll try to do that. It's just very tricky doing live anything in my house. So it'll just depend on if I can find time when I'm alone in the house to do a live video of me putting supplies together. So we'll try. But for now, I'll just do a voiceover and hope that works. So, okay, so now I just kind of figured out how I wanted to start, I guess, working through this. And I found another pack that I was missing of papers. And so I'm just going to start filtering through them and putting anywhere from like 2 to 5 pieces of paper in a little pile to be like a page. I definitely love my patterns, and I foresee some of these I would come across like a really good background page, but I'm kind of just banking that I'll be adding cardstock to each of these as a background. Not all of them, but most of them. And so I always just, when I was putting the papers together, I was thinking of them in smaller increments, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking, okay, these are going to be getting cut down and combined together in a layering fashion, or, that kind of thing. So as long as my brain can go there, then I kind of created some very interesting color combinations that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise. But knowing I'm not using all the full sheets of paper through the whole layout, then that helps. And so I am just having fun with it and putting things together that I think look good, that my eye tells me looks good, and just going with it. So the Happy Life little collection of papers I had also had a little bit more of a distressed look to it too. So I ended up putting most of them together with each other. But I think overall I did a pretty good job of just really mixing my supplies. So I'm just filtering through these, and don't know what to say about them. I don't want to bore you. I just kind of, after a little while, I figured out that the two of the paper pads mesh better together. And you'll see kind of as I got to the end and they were getting pretty low, I just finally tore all the pages out of all of them so I could put them in a pile, because sometimes that helps, like filtering through a pile, then flipping them, individually. You can see combinations a little bit better. And so that, especially when I got to the end and I was getting more limited, that really worked well. And I just love that as a result of this, I'm able to throw away 4 paper pads, empty paper pads. And granted, I'm sure I'll have some papers left over from them, but that's 4 paper pads out of my stash. So while I'm just making these little paper kits together, what can I talk about? I haven't been doing a ton of scrapbooking lately. Since my scrapbooking weekend, I just haven't been in my room much. It's been pretty busy. This is a really busy time of year for my business. But I do have an assignment for Get It Scrapped due Sunday, so I gotta get down there and start doing some work. And I think I'm gonna try to work with one of these kits, because my assignment is I'm gonna scrapbook you basically making a page where the design and the elements I choose for the page match the personality of the person you're scrapbooking. and I'm going to scrapbook my youngest daughter, who just has a really fun, vibrant, goofy personality. And so some of these had some really fun, bright, playful features to them. So I think I might try to scrapbook with one of these. My oldest daughter is more, she is just more of the thoughtful, like wears her heart on her sleeve, stresses about things, super sweet. Kind of, I call her my old soul. It's just amazing how your kids can be so different. So maybe I'll scrapbook her. I know I've done one page that I think really fit her personality, and that wasn't the goal of the page. The goal of the page, what was it? But it was also for Get It Scrapped. I can't remember the actual intent of that page now, but I have a perfect picture in mind, but I've already scrapbooked that and I've already done it for an assignment. So, but for her, I would definitely choose more kind of solemn, like, muted, layers and colors, because her personality is just different. So it is fun how you can portray personality in the design and the colors and the papers that you choose and the embellishments. It's fun. So what else have I been up to? I'm still with Get It Scrapped. Usually it's about one layout a month. Sometimes I do two, but I'm finding that hard lately to get two done, which is weird. But I just go through. I have an ebb and flow to my mojo, and I haven't had it lately. I kind of I feel like I've maybe trained myself to just get the mojo when I'm going on a scrap weekend, and when I'm home, I don't have it as much, and I don't like that because I don't know. I'm hoping this kind of gets me back into doing some stuff here at home. We'll see, or maybe it's just there's so much going on. We're back in school. We got dances started back up and cross country and all of those fun school events and after school activities and homework and crazy driving 5 million places and 5 million miles a week and stuff. So I've been watching a lot. I still am watching YouTube. I do that a lot in the car. I listen to podcasts and stuff. I did start another YouTube channel called Essential Living with Nicole, which is an essential oil-based YouTube channel. I also started a Facebook page, which is really the main piece of this. The YouTube channel is more just a way to get videos onto my Facebook page. So I have been really passionate lately, and maybe this is why I'm not doing a lot with scrapbooking, is because I'm kind of using my creativity trying to basically get rid of all the chemicals in our house. And so I'm making a ton of stuff like our cleaners and dish or laundry soap and all that kind of stuff. And so I've been really passionate. I've been finding all the supplies, and I have, the oils, and I've just been having a really good time learning a lot about that and how easy it is to do. So, I decided that I would share that on a Facebook page and YouTube channel. I would share DIY videos, informational videos about ways we can incorporate oils into our lives. And so I've been doing some with that, and that's just kind of another passion I have going on right now. And so definitely if you are interested in information, feel free to check that out. If you want a link to it, I can add it. Otherwise, I think if you look up Essential Oil Living with Nicole, I think that's what it's called, on Facebook or here on YouTube, you should be able to find it. Anywho, so I've been doing that, and that's kind sometimes you just have to focus on something else for a little bit, a different hobby or something else you're passionate about, and that's just one of those things. And so I have been doing that. Other than that, we are going to Hawaii next month, and so I've been doing some shopping for that, of course. I'm not a big beach. I mean, I love going to the beach, but I don't like to wear swimming suits. So I had to buy some new swimsuits and some new beach wear things like that. So I've been having fun just shopping online for that. It's overwhelming because there's so much out there and you don't know what's good quality and stuff. But so I've getting that done, and pretty soon here we're going to be actually like getting ready to pack for it, which is crazy. I'm so excited though. I'm so pumped for this trip. It's going to be so much fun. So we have that coming up and just work. And just lots of running around. So we just took family pictures on Saturday. And so I'm super pumped to have some new pictures to scrapbook. And I can't wait to see them. I've only seen a sneak peek of them, and they're going to be fall pictures. We took them outdoors, and we just get really pretty fall colors around here, and we're right by a river, and so it's lush and it's pretty, although we're not quite completely at the peak yet, so we did what we could, but I think in like 2 weeks we would have had some better background options, but that's okay. But I'm just excited, so I'm really looking. I know I got some of the new fall pieces, I think some 6x6 paper pads and stuff, but I didn't get really any of the full new fall lines. I'm kind of looking for the perfect one that matches our clothes, and so I'll have to keep looking, but I'm excited to see those and scrapbook those. It's always fun to get pictures that you're actually in. That's always exciting, so. Anyway, I am just still plugging away at making these pages. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't really see what I'm doing. Like I don't know, the app I used to roll the video as I was talking and doing the voiceover. And it's kind of on a freeze frame, so I can kind of see what's happening. It's kind of weird because you have you have a rolling frame and then the freeze frame. The freeze frame, what's frozen now, used to play the video live as I was talking, and so I don't know if it has a glitch or what's happening, but so I'm just looking at the little rolling thing along the bottom and can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of winging it here, but I don't want to start over because it's a long video. Some of these color or combos I know kind of are very similar. I had a lot of that Maggie Holmes flea market paper, and I'm kind of laughing because I'm pretty sure I should have probably put that away with my Maggie Holmes kit because I think there's other flea market stuff there. So I might take whatever's left over from this paper pad and stick that away into my Maggie Holmes massive kit. I've done a layout share called Part 1. From working with that kit, but I put it away. I needed a break for a little while, but I'm pretty sure that there was a bunch of flea market stuff in that kit, so I should probably visit that kit and see if I have enough papers in there that match that, because it's very much more distressed and kind of cream based than her lines are now. But that's okay. One of the challenges of this whole project Use Your Stash was to just combine things that match each other from different lines and get supplies used up. So I guess it's not a huge deal if I used up all the flea market, but I noticed I had tons of some of the papers, so I must have bought the paper pad, and then I must have bought individual sheets, and so there were some page kits that looked very similar to each other. But this Studio Calico paper pad, it's kind of tricky to use. The paper is really cute, but it's just a little bit harder to use. And it was more, I think, white based as well. But I think I ended up getting most of the papers put into page kits. So I think I got it accomplished for the most part. There's a few left over at the end, I think. And so what I'll do, like I said, once I'm done with all these, papers, is I'll then go through each one individually. And I'm trying to think of, in the kit, I have 6x6 paper pads. I have this little, pack of, colored, oh no, that's what I'm looking for. like a fabric. I can't think of what it's called, but I think I'll go through those because they're a little bit larger pieces. And I'll go through any like project lifestyle cards or journaling cards, or bigger die cut pieces, and kind of go through each pile and divvy those out first. And then I'll probably go back through a third time and start adding, adding in individual stickers and all this, the more like the flat pieces. And then I may do a fourth time. I'll try to do, I think, the stickers and the finishing touch pieces together. But if I feel like that's too overwhelming, I might end up doing this through 4 times. We'll see. I want to avoid that if I can. But I'm just excited. This is fun to like dig back into these kits because it's been a while since I created them, and see all these pretty products and kind of be creative with putting different things together. And hopefully I don't have a hard time working with them as page kits. Like, that's going to be new for me. And I'm used to limiting myself, but that to me is super limiting. And so it'll be a challenge, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. So I also had a ton of scraps, if you guys have noticed, that I had kept in the paper pads, at least 2 or maybe 3 of them. And so I also added in scraps as I could, because I wanted to get them used up. And so I just kind of treated them as though they were a full piece of paper, and knowing they're just going to be a smaller layer, but I wanted to get them incorporated into these page kits as well. I loved revisiting some of these paper pads, especially the Maggie Holmes one. I love that. I think that was her first collection, maybe flea market, first or second. And I just remember just loving it so much. And the color block paper actually is pretty good quality. It's from Walmart, I think, but the papers are pretty good quality. So sometimes you get those and they're really thin, and there were just lots of beautiful florals. Those were fun. Some of the Amy Tan ones, I felt like they're very graphic. And I have a hard time with super graphic papers. So those might be tricky for me, but we'll see. I'm not going to force anything. If there's a grouping of papers I put together and I'm like, I have no idea what to do with this, then I'll just put it aside. And then if it's still standing at the end, I'll just put the loose papers in my stash and the supplies in my stash and call it good. But oh goodness. So yeah, I'd like to do some of this kind of live so I can talk through my process as I'm doing it. Like I said, my office is next to my husband's, and if he's home, it's just hard to, it's weird to talk to a camera when he's like next door. I don't know, it's just weird. And then if the kids are home, of course, it's just a lot of noise, but let's see, what else can I talk about in the scrappy world? I got my order from the Scrap Gals. I ordered a t-shirt and a bag. So cute. And it's funny because they're black and white, and I got another package in the mail today of this black and white striped dress that I got from my trip, and I'm like, it was just kind of weird that they were both black and white items. But no, I've just been listening to them still, and enjoying that podcast. And like I said, enjoying YouTube. And just want to get back into some kind of regularity to do YouTube videos. Let's see, what else can I talk about? What should I talk about? It's kind of like a scrappy chat, just voice only, while you're watching me flip through a whole bunch of papers. What else can I talk about? I'm trying to think of any questions. I know I did a layout share recently. I had my scrapbooking weekend with Angie, and that was awesome. And she's starting to get a lot more of her scrappy stuff on Instagram, which is fun. If you Google, or not Google, if you search, it's A Turek or Angie Turek. I think it's A Turek on Instagram. She's going to be posting a bunch of her layouts and kind of getting more on social media with her scrapbooking. We had an awesome time as always. We were there for our 3 full days, which kind of is our norm now. We used to do like, we'd get there afternoon or evening on a Friday. We'd say Saturday, Sunday, come home Monday. And now we've decided to add a 3rd day, so we usually come home Tuesday morning. And really, like, it's so much better because usually on Sunday we're like, I'm so glad we're not going home tomorrow because we're not quite ready. And we had an awesome time. We made the exact same number of layouts, which was crazy. That never happens. A lot of times because usually one of us is making a random mini album in the middle of the weekend or has some other kind of project we're doing. But we just sat down and did layouts and made the same amount, which was funny. And I just love that there's so many fun options for classes out there still. Like I know she worked on a Chamel class, and I worked on a variety of classes through bigpictureclasses.com, and then I actually scrap lifted Jen Scow's collection Disconnection series where she used a Chamel collection, and I think I signed up for one of her new classes. I didn't get to do anything with it there, but I signed up for one of her new classes. I think I've signed up for most of her classes and the Ready Sketch Goes. It's just fun. I just love that there's still a lot of fun classes out there and available especially for those weekends, because a lot of times I need something to get me going. And so I really appreciate that. I would love to do classes. I'd love to teach. I'd love to like come up with content. I just have no desire to deal with the technological part of it. And even like with YouTube, I don't really edit. I just kind of wing it. And as you guys know, like how many times have you guys heard me like sneeze or like I just don't edit stuff out because it just hurts my brain. And so I just don't think that, that would be something I could do. Maybe someday I'll sit down and think about it, but I have too much going on right now anyway to sit down and try to focus that hard on learning something new. I'm not quite at that place. So I'll just appreciate the people who do for now and go from there. So, and this color block paper pad, I'm noticing I'm really liking like the B sides a lot more than most of the A sides. So I tend to use those quite a bit. Really pretty color combo. Like the mint greens and the teals and some really pretty pink tones in there. Let's see what else is new shopping. I've done some shopping. I do have one order coming from a cherry on top with the new Chamel collection, the new Amy Tan collection. Ooh, I got the vintage bliss from Simple Stories. I'm super pumped to see that in person. I just put in a small order at a cherry on top also because Angie made me realize that I totally missed the Turn the Page collection from Paige Evans. I don't know how I did that because I pre-order almost everything, but I must have missed that one. So I ordered that. There were a couple of pieces that were out of stock, but I ordered that. And then what else did I get? I got Turn the Page, and I got, Dear Lizzie's new one pre-ordered. So it's probably going to be another month before I get either of those, I'm guessing. Because a lot of those were pre-ordered. I did go, I have the town nearest us, like the bigger city nearest us, has a local grocery store that has, like, it's like a department store as well. And they have a little scrapbook section. But they always have new stuff there, which is really cool. It's like this tiny, like half of a aisle. Like it's tiny. But I just always, when I had to go there anyway, it's right next to my girls' dance studio. And so it's just the easiest place to go for groceries if I only have a limited amount of time. And so I always hopped in that aisle to see what they have. They usually have, like, whoever orders must really like Tim Holtz. They always have lots of Tim Holtz stuff. But they did have a couple of the new fall collections. They had like the 6x6 paper pads, some random sticker sheets from them. And so I'm like, I'll just get these and go with that. And then what else did I get? I got, trying to think what else I got. I didn't get a whole lot. I got a new like water brush holder thingy for like watercolor. And maybe just the paper pads, some stickers. Yeah, that's about it. But it's always fun to see what they have because it's very random, like very, very random. And let's see. I'm still scrapbooking for other people. I actually just got 8 pages done. I'm delivering to her on Wednesday. And I have a few more for her to do. And that's fun. I enjoy that. It's not as fun as scrapbooking for myself, but it's just great it's a great feeling to continue to use my supplies and to actually make some money back on them. But also it's fun to work with pictures that have different people in them. Because she has like 5 girls and she has just the cutest girls. And so I get to use all my girly stuff. And they're all dancers. So it's just fun. I have all the product. And so it's just been really fun to make her pages and get to girly them up, which is fun. So still doing that, and I really need to get to work to making more stuff from my shop. It's just one of those things I have to be in the right mode for that, like to say I'm going to make one thing over and over and over again and get in that mood. I really want to just, even for the Christmas season, like we get a lot of traffic, retail traffic in the fall and Christmas seasons, and so I really should just get on the ball and just start making stuff, but I just have to be in the right mood and have the time. So I'm just still, like, as you can tell, I am just whipping these little page kits out, and I definitely kind of I used the same process that I would use making a larger kit, meaning that a lot of these you'll notice I have a multicolored paper in there, and then the other 2 or 3 papers that I put with it are then more solid type of papers that match it, because I need to have pattern on my layouts. I don't mind what's the word when you just have one we just have one color, monochromatic. I don't mind having a monochromatic layout every once in a while, but that just isn't my style. And so a lot of these page kits, you'll notice I try to incorporate at least one of the papers that has, multiple colors in it. And I think you guys know me well enough to know I'm not afraid of combining patterns. But it really does matter how you do it. It's not just kind of like a winging it. It's definitely an eye thing. But it's also, you're thinking about the sizes of the patterns and making sure you're not putting a bunch of busy sizes, busy patterns together. You have the different, you have to think about your white base versus cream base. And there's a couple of these that were a little iffy for me, but I'm like, I'm going to go with it and just not be too freaked out about this. But you know, for me, I'm just at the point where my eye says yes or no. And I think it's because I've trained it to, to know what patterns do and don't look good together based on the size of the pattern and the scale. But I definitely like to combine different colors together and different patterns together. And that's just my style because, I'm going to use them all definitely on smaller scales anyway, for mostly. And so for me, this was definitely fun, like just to like not know what I'm going to be doing with these. Like I don't know what pictures I'm using. I'm just putting random papers together that I think look good together. And that's just a fun concept to me. I like doing things differently once in a while. It kind of gets the mojo going again, and it kind of gets you back into playing with your supplies. And this is definitely a good process for playing with your supplies, right? Because you're digging through everything. And again, love that I was able to empty out four paper pads and use up some other individual sheets of paper. So that's awesome. So let's see. Hope you guys are all having a good fall. And we had some like cool days, and then like this last couple weeks or week has been really hot. So I'm ready for the fall temperatures to come back. They come back overnight, and it's chilly in the morning, and then it gets like 85, 90 degrees in the day. I'm like, stop it. Summer's over. Not technically, but my poor daughter had a run in like 90-degree weather at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon last week for cross country. I think she has to do it again tomorrow. I haven't checked the weather, but I think it's going to be warm again tomorrow. Poor thing. I think that's hard. It's hard to run a mile and a half anyway, let alone she's just in junior high. But when you're that hot and miserable to start with, and then it's all good. It builds character, right? So I'm just about to the end here. It looks like I'm starting to just tear sheets out and love these florals from Muggy Homes and the other crepe paper. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I thought there was, I don't know. Some of the patterns will be, I guess I'll have pretty specific, like for instance, the roller skates. But I did used to go roller skating a lot, like in 6th grade and junior high. So hopefully that'll motivate me to tell that story because I need to. I haven't talked about it. I don't have any pictures of it. I don't think I have any pictures of it. So I might have to just use a picture of me from that time period and then talk about how that was like something we did every weekend and who I went with and that I got pretty good, or I could go backwards and sideways and because it was a big kind of part of my 6th grade junior high life was that's what we did on the weekends, me and that particular group of friends. So that roller skating paper, I'm hoping will get used for that. And what other papers caught my attention for specific stories? I'm trying to remember. The one with like little dolls. We'll see what happens. I could definitely pull out some childhood stories for those. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I loved all the like music papers that were in these. Like a couple paper pads had some really cute music papers. That always makes me happy. So I am excited to get to the next step of this. I'm excited to get the embellishments out and start divvying them out. I think that will be really fun. I don't know how Nicole talks the whole time. I don't know what else to say. Um, because I know I'm boring. He doesn't want to know about me. Um, I mean, I'm just doing my thing, just working. And I do have a bum knee right now, which is, right now I'm actually like, as I'm doing my voiceover, I'm icing it and have it lifted. I don't know what I did. I think I'm just getting old. It's so sad. Like, just, yeah. But it started to kind of bother me a week ago, and then I got it to where it was kind of mostly back to normal. And then we did our pictures on Saturday, and I didn't twist it or anything, but we were just like walking around kind of on uneven ground. And I had to work that morning, and it was pretty busy, so I think I just maybe aggravated it again. I think it's really like inflamed and swollen, and I hate that. So today it was just like, ow, and I'm like, I want to get this taken care of before we go to Hawaii, because I know we plan on doing some hiking and stuff there, and so this age thing is not fun. I feel older every day. But I'm putting a bunch of different oils on it and icing it and trying to keep it up. And it's just hard when you work and then you have your house to keep clean and kids to take care of. It's hard to like stay off of it. So anyway, other than that, I'm just still just working at the Corner Nook, which is a coffee shop and retail. It's our busy time of year. Fall decorations and like Christmas decorations are pretty popular, and so we get a lot of those in this time of year from our vendors. Like over I'd say 85% of the things in our store that is all attached to the coffee shop is handmade from vendors all over the state and some other states around us, and which makes it really fun. Like I'm always surrounded by creativity, which is really, really cool. That keeps me inspired for sure. And so we just hired somebody. I've been training her, and so it's kind of giving me a little bit of a break on some of my hours, which is nice because I do all the bookwork and paperwork, and so I'm already putting a lot of time into that at home, and so it kind of gives me a little extra time, which is nice. Other than that, just working and doing our thing. So I think I'm about a minute away from wrapping up Peerage. You can tell I'm just trying to get all these last few papers used up and see what can work together. And you'll see it here at the end. I have kind of just a very small pile that I just decide they're not meshing very well. I'm going to put these to the side, use them as extra options for all the other kits, which is nice to have just an extra little pile that I can pull from if I need to, if a color is not quite working, or if I just need a matte. Like some of these papers, I just specifically looked at and said, I'll matte with that because it's not a very pretty paper, or I'm going to use the back side as the white cardstock because the front is really ugly. And that's totally acceptable to do. I'll probably do it a couple times, I'm sure. And so, so I'll be back soon with some embellishing. I'm so excited for this process. So stay tuned, and I'll be back soon. Thank you, and happy scrapping. Bye-bye.